Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. I hope everybody had a great week and that we are ready to start our Shabbat service. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to begin the service this evening by inviting everyone to open the Siddur, the Siddur Lev Shalem, rather, and turn to page 101. And I would like to begin by singing again the melody we introduced last week during Shabbat Shirah from Matovu, page 101. How lovely are your dwellings, Jacob, your sanctuaries, people of Israel. 101. Lai rai 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 lai rai 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 lai rai 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 lai rai 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 ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Lai 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 va'ani brochastecha chastecha avo vetecha eshtachave El hechal kodshecha, kodeshecha be'yiratecha. Lai 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 lai. Adonai ahavti me'on beitecha. Umekom mishkan kevodecha. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Va'ani eshtachave ve'echra. Evrecha lifnei Adonai osi. Lai 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 Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim berov chastecha aneni be'emet ishecha lai 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 lai. Let us now turn back to the front of the Siddur, to the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat, and as an introduction to Kabbalat Shabbat, I would like to invite everyone to turn to page 5. Let's sing together Shalom Aleichem at the bottom of the page. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitechem leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let us go and sing unto Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Page 11, Lechune Ranana, the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. Lechu neranena neranena ladonai naria naria litzuri sheinu. Lechu neranena neranena ladonai naria naria litzuri sheinu. Nekadama fanav nekadama fanav nekadama fanav betoda. Bizmirot, naria lo, bizmirot, naria lo. Lechu neranena, ladonai naria, litzuri sheinu. Lechu neranena, ladonai naria, litzuri sheinu. The heavens shall be glad, and the earth rejoice. The sea and its fullness roar. The meadows and all that grows in them exult. Even the trees of the forest shall sing praise, as Adonai comes to judge the earth, judging lands with righteousness and people with divine truth. Please join me on the middle of page 14 as we sing together Yismechu Hashamayim. Please sing along. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umalo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umalo. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. And now I would like to invite everyone to turn to page 20. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. God's holy mountain can be referred to as Mount Sinai, which we read about in this week's Parsha. Page 20, let's sing together Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodesho. Now let's turn to page 21. I invite everyone to please rise for Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 29. And as I mentioned in my sermon last week, I mentioned Shlomo Carlebach, the singing rabbi from the 60s. We will do his tune, his melody for Mizmor LeDavid. Please sing along, page 21. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai Bnei Elim, Havul Adonai Kavod Va'oz, Havul Adonai Kevod Shemo Ishtachavul Adonai Behadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamayim El HaKavod Hirim Adonai Al Mayim Rabim Lai Kol Adonai Ba'koach Kol Adonai Behadar Kol Adonai Shover Arazim Vaishaber Adonai Edar Ze Halvanon Vayar Kiedem Kemo Egel Levanon Vesirion Kemo Vehen Re'emim Lai Kol Adonai Chotzev Lavotesh Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Echol Elayalot Vayechesof Ye'arot Uvehechalo Kulo Omer Kavod Lai Adonai Lamabul Yashav Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yevarech et Amo Vashalom Lai You may be seated, and we will continue now with Lechadodi, the prayer that officially welcomes Shabbat every week. We will sing the first two stanzas on page 23, the middle stanza on 24, and then finally the ending stanza on page 25, at which point we will rise and we will face the entrance of the room that we are in or the entrance of our home in order to formally welcome the Shabbat bride and welcome Shabbat. Pages 23 through 25. Lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Shamor vezachor bedibur echad hishmianu El hamiyuchad Adonai echad Ushemo echad l'shem ultiferet Velitila lecha dodi likrat chala Penei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha ki mekor ha'beracham merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela, page 24 in the middle. Hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alaich nigla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Page 25, please rise, face the entrance of your home. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uv'tzola toch emune am segula boi chala בואי חללך דודי לקראת חלה פני שבת נקבלה איי לי 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 לך דודי לקראת חלה פני שבת נקבלה. You may be seated. We will now turn to page 27. Now that Shabbat has officially been brought in and has started, we will recite the Psalm for Shabbat, Psalm 92, top of page 27. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in our God's courtyards. Please join me as we sing Tzadi Katamar, middle of page 28. Tzadi Katamar Yiferach Ke'erez Balvanon Yizke Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzerot Eloheinu Yaferichu Od Yenuvun Beseva Deshenim Verananim Iyu Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Tsuri Tsuri Velo Avalatabo. I mentioned a few moments ago that in this week's Parsha we encounter Mount Sinai. Normally this week we would be reading the Ten Commandments, though because we do a triennial cycle for the Torah reading, this year we actually won't be reading the Ten Commandments themselves in the Parsha, but we will be talking about them tomorrow morning. This evening, though, I would like to share something very interesting in the Parsha that I did find that I think will help us get more into the mood for Shabbat. There is a point in the Torah portion where Moses takes it upon himself to be kind of the mediator or arbitrator between any given person or persons among the nation of Israel if they have a dispute. And it's known that Moses sat at the foot of his tent or at the opening of his tent, and people would line up if they had some sort of argument or question or needed to find out what is the right way to do something. And at this point in the Torah, Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, which is the name of the Parsha this week, Yitro, Moses' father-in-law actually says to him, stop. Wait a minute, you're doing too much. This is not good for you to do. You're going to burn yourself out. And this is exactly what Jethro says. You will surely wear yourself out, and these people, meaning the whole nation, the people that come to him for questions, and these people as well. For the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. One of the messages we can take from that is that we as individuals, those of us that are in leadership positions, management positions, or whatever type of thing where we take charge, sometimes we need to learn to delegate so we don't burn ourselves out. But I think there's a hidden, deeper meaning here. If we look at the Hebrew of the verse, specifically where Jethro says the task is too much, it's too heavy for you, the Hebrew actually says, Ki chaved mimecha. And the word chaved is what stuck out to me. The word kaved has the same Hebrew root, chaf vet dalid, as the word kavod. Kavod, which means honor and respect. So if we translate the word chaved the same as kavod, ki chaved mimacha, because the honor and the respect is being brought before you, that is too much for you to handle by yourself. In other words, have a group of people that support you to make difficult decisions. One should not be doing all of that by yourself. There is a reason why different major organizations, synagogues, churches, universities have a board of directors, have committees, have volunteers. To have the entire community or the entire population come to just one person is sometimes a little too much. And that's why we have this community involvement, and we have members of our community here at Bnai so heavily involved in what goes on a day-to-day basis. Similarly, taking that idea and the idea of being able to delegate things is also something we should think about every week as we go into Shabbat. It's one of the reasons we have Shabbat, is so we can recharge, is so we can take a break from making these difficult decisions every week. For those who are interested in reading more about this, it is in the book of Exodus, chapter 18, verse 18, and I invite you to read that a little bit more tomorrow or later this evening at your leisure and at your pleasure. And as we now continue into Shabbat, let's continue with the Mariv service, starting on page 39a with the Baruch Hu call to prayer, please rise. Lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, dai dai dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai. Please join me on the English side of 39a as we read the first blessing after the Baruch Hu together. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד מלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. Ahavat Olam, page 40. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amecha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochveinu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach bechukecha. ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We will continue privately on page 42 with the second and third paragraphs of the Shema. Adonai Elohechem, top of page 43a. Emet ve'emuna kol zot ve'kayam aleinu, ki hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ein zulato, v'anachnu Yisrael, God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided water of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Willingly they accepted God's sovereignty. Then Moses and the people Israel joyfully sang unto you, Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? top of page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלום יד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Hashkivenu, top of page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch Atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ufaros aleinu sukat shalomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise on page 46 for Vishamru and Chatzi Kadesh. Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא יברך ירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. The private silent Amidah begins on page 47 and concludes on page 52, either in the Hebrew or English. If you are still reciting the Amidah, please continue. I would like to invite everyone to turn to page 51. Let's sing together Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael bechol eit uvechol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Let us turn to page 54 for the full Kaddish in the middle of the page. Yitgadal v'yitkadash me'rabah. Be'alamad yivarach yiruteh v'amlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayirechol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimmeru. Amen. Yehi shemei rabba mevarach le'alam u'le'al me'al maya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'yimeru amen. Titrabal tzalot ahon v'atahon dechol Yisrael kodam avahon divishmaya v'yimeru amen. Yehi shlamor rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. Ose shalom imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. And now I would like to invite everyone to turn to page 55 for the Shabbat evening Kiddush. If you have your wine or grape juice handy, please go ahead and get that now. And we will continue with Kiddush, page 55. Please rise. Savri mananan v'rabanan v'rabotai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, V'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, Ki avanu v'acharta, Ve'otanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, Ve'shabbat koshecha, Be'ahava uveratzon, Hinchalotanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. Let us turn the page to page 56 and continue with Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach l'Adon hakol, Latet gedula leotzer brishit, Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, Velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, Shelo samech elkeinu kahem, Vegoraleinu kechol hamonam, V'anachnu koreim, Umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, Umoshav Yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, U'shechinatu zo, Begov hei meromim, Hu Eloheinu ein od, Emet Malkeinu efesu lato, Kakatuv betorato, Ve'adata hayom ve'hashevota elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, B'shamayim mima'al, Ve'al haaretz, Mitachat ein od. Al כן נכבד לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות ככתוב בתורתך אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. At this time, we remember those in our community who are no longer with us. This Shabbat, we remember Jerome Kleinfeld, Oscar Holtzman, Jack Rosen, Jesse Salceda, Ethan Simon, Mary Garden Schwartz, Monty Edwards, Vivian Glinsky, and Aaron Katz. And if there is anyone else you are remembering this evening, please take a moment to remember them in your mind and in your heart. May their memories be only for goodness and for a blessing. Let us continue with Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divarach hirute ve'amlich malchute B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Israel Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam alalme almaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yitale ve'yithalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. You may be seated, and I hand it over to Harvey for announcements.
Okay, thank you very much, Cantor. Good Shabbos, everyone. So we have quite a few announcements, and please don't throw away your shofar, because all the details of what we're going to be doing and what is needed is in the shofar. And I'm just going to give just a brief overview of what we need to do. One of the things is to sign up for Purim baskets, for Shalach Manas baskets, and volunteer to help on Sunday as well. And again, this information, what to do and the hours is in the shofar. And please, you can talk to anyone who tomorrow who's going to be in shul for more information about that. Tomorrow, the Men's Club is sponsoring the Worldwide Rap Minyan, and we are going to be performing the mitzvah of laying tefillin. And so please try to come to that between 9 and 12 tomorrow. And let's see, the big event. This is very, very important. It's our main fundraiser for the year. It's coming very soon, March 5th. And we are trying to sponsor a comedy workshop as well. We're working very hard on that. It will be also on a Sunday, sometime between between noon and 3. And so please stay tuned for more information about that as we are able to find out more details. But what we do need is volunteers for cooking on Friday, March 3rd, from 9 a.m. to noon. And also on Shabbos, we need people to set tables and kind of move furniture around a little bit so that everything can be set. And so those of you who can stay after services to help set up, that would be great. And then on Sunday, we also need some help in the kitchen. The kitchen prep starting at about 9 o'clock, and that's to prepare salads and things like that. So if you can do any of these things, and that would be great, please talk to Chris Buchalter or Vicky, and be sure to have your reservations in before February 24th. If you don't have them in by now. And I think that takes care of it. Thank you very much, and good Shabbos.
Okay, thank you, Harvey. And just to add to that, on Sunday morning, March 5th, will be the Albuquerque Jewish Community Purim Festival, which is going to be hosted at Congregation Albert. Bnai Israel is going to have a presence there as well, mainly with our religious school students and their families. But it is open to the entire community. You are more than welcome to come. I believe there's a typo in some of our literature. It says it's March 7th, but it's actually Sunday morning, March 5th, beginning at 11 a.m. and going until 2 p.m. Not, of course, wanting to take away from the big event that evening as well. I would also like to add and just do a public service announcement that if anybody in the community or anybody you know is in need of a personal mishaberach, if you or they are ill or need a visit in the hospital, need spiritual guidance or counseling and pastoral care, that is part of why I am here, and that is what I am here for. So please make sure to let us know. You can either call the office and talk to Anna and let her know, or you can also just call the office and speak to me directly. If there's normal people you normally let them know, please make sure to have them tell us in the office so that we can also do our best to minister to you and to take care of you. So please just keep that in mind. And with
Can
that,
I also
oh yes, Jimmy, please go ahead.
just want to clarify on Sunday the minyan, the Sunday morning minyan and tefillin, with the worldwide wrap. You don't have to know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, we're going to do some lessons so you learn how to do it, and that's the whole point of this event, is to learn how to do it and to partake in doing that. So.
Yes, thank you, Jimmy. First timer tefillin wearers, you are more than welcome to come. We're going to spend the first about 20-30 minutes of the Worldwide Wrap teaching about tefillin, showing you how to do it, helping you put them on even if it's for the first time, and then of course do the minyan service right after that. So thank you, Jimmy, for the reminder. Are there any other community announcements? Okay. So with that, let us conclude with Adon Olam, page 211. Adon Olam asher malach beterem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefetzo kol Azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichalot hakol levado imloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hover ve'hu yeh betif hara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni להמשיל לו, להחמירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי, בעת צרה, והוא ניסי, ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אבקיד רוחי, בעת אישן ואירה, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא ira. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us tomorrow morning, 9:30, in person in the sanctuary or here online. Have a great Shabbat and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, everyone. See you later.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, somebody put something in the chat. I think we already read it. Oh, nothing. Okay. Leave.